only clapping, so I'll validate your parking. Good evening, everyone. So over the weekend, the Secret Service shot a man in a confrontation near the White House. In the man's defense, he honestly thought he still lived there. Clapping the shooting of a president? A Southwest Airlines flight had to return to the gate after a female passenger stripped naked and raced up and down the aisle. No, I was just waiting for a picture. No pictures? In a related story, guess who just booked a flight on Southwest? You don't have pictures? True, the naked woman ran around on the flight for 25 minutes. It confused many of the passengers who ended up seeing 2 landing strips that day. Meanwhile, an Air India flight was forced to return to the U.S. because of clogged toilets. Sorry about that, said one passenger. Amazing. Over the weekend, a 4.1 magnitude earthquake shook Los Angeles. The tremors were so strong, LA Mayor Karen Bass felt them in Africa. The aftershocks were so intense, Gavin Newsom's hair actually moved. In fact, one was so strong, it actually flipped Gavin back to his original position on trans athletes. You weren't feeling it? It's okay, you weren't feeling it. There were fractures, there were cracks, there were breaks, and that was just in Cher's face. I agree with you. Over the weekend, a guy broke the world record for standing in the same spot for 38 hours straight, breaking the previous record of everyone who has been to the DMV. But 38 hours without moving? That's amateur hour, said one man. Futurists predict tech-obsessed humans could have hunchbacks and smaller brains by the year 2100. I think we found patient 0 for this study. And finally, Dylan Mulvaney was a guest on The View today. Dylan enjoyed being on the show, even though Mulvaney was the only one there without a penis. So, tonight's topic, friends. We all know what friends are. We have them ourselves. Well, maybe not all of us.
I knew that was coming.
But we can talk to our friends honestly, and we can give our friends sound advice. Like the time I told MC Hammer, don't worry about money, you'll be popular forever. But also a good friend would tell you not to sing in public.
Which side are you on? Trump's coming for our unions. He wants us all to fail. He wants us to bow to him, but we want him in jail.
This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine, let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. Science lights the way.
No, it doesn't. You know, if they told us they'd stop singing if we impeached Trump, we might do it. But who would let you go out in public and sound so awful? Besides Maroon 5's tour manager. Not true friends, that's for sure. But sadly, there's a group of people who don't understand the concept of friendship, and it's the modern Democrat. Here's Joy Behar talking about refusing to share a kidney.
I could be friends
bizarre.
with a Trump supporter. I won't give them a kidney, but I could be friends with them.
Hey, Joy, it's a kidney, not a pizza. Of course, she's kidding at first, but then she goes on to explain the moral foundation for her resentment, and it's the same one that drives all deadly ideologies.
The thing about it is it's not just about politics. It's about morality, ethics. It's about cruelty. It's about discrimination. It's about a lot of things. So those are personal human values. We're not really just talking about fiscal conservative who pays more taxes. We're talking about you as a human being. So it's hard to be friends with someone who signs on to something like that.
See what she did there? She removed the inhumanity of her adversary, placing them in a box labeled not wrong, but evil. So now you can treat them the way you fantasize that they might treat you. If you think they're Nazis, then you can act like Nazis. But once they lose elections, they decide, well, these bad people could do podcasts really well. That must have mattered, so let's do podcasts. But it's like Jesse Waters thinking he can play like Michael Jordan by shaving off the rest of his remaining hair. It's not gonna work. But once they get shellacked by so-called bad people, their solution is to do what the bad people do. Well, good luck, because they don't understand the organic nature of podcasting. Podcasts were built on this concept called friends, with friends doing other friends' show without fear of being canceled. But since everything Dems do is inorganic, from the protests to their stupid TikTok videos, they assume they can just artificially make a podcast the same way. It's like watching the Super Bowl and thinking, yeah, I could do that too, neglecting the years of experience and raw talent that leads to that moment. But they can't do podcasts for they have no friends, meaning people who will be honest with them. It's why Dems do embarrassing in public, and how no one will tell Debbie Wasserman Schultz her hairstyle looks like someone dumped a casserole on her head. But if the podcast world is based on people who trust each other, how do Democrats find those people? How can you make friends if everybody around you is terrified that one slip-up might land them in exile? That's how you get people to say Rachel Levine is female and Chris Hayes is a man. That will never happen here because we like you enough to call bull. But if Dems were to actually call BS, their so-called allies would turn on them, like Brit Hume does when you bring up his brief stint in Menudo. Look what happened with Joe Rogan. Where did all his lefty friends go? And countless other former libs who found freedom in the world outside wokedom. They realize that you can't work with someone who, when the going gets rough, abandons you. That's called an informant. With friends like that, who needs Mike Pence? It comes down to the 3 words of advice I've given to the very start of this crazy business: share the risk. What you saw on the right, especially in podcasts and comedy, was the sharing of risk among friends. And that's appealing, and most of all, it's real. The Dems spent so much time cultivating fake compassion through identity politics and DEI that they abandoned the real thing, which means after every manufactured march, the leftist went home alone, too miserable and wretched to feed their 27 cats. Because the recipe for their power, which is the power to cancel, burns every real human bridge in their lives. It's how ideologies play out. For that system to expand, you have to reduce your humanity to a point where you can explain why letting a friend die without a kidney is your moral choice. But really, who wants one of Joy's kidneys anyway? Seriously, I'm sure the kidney wants to get out of there. Let's welcome! He's the inspiration for the mute button. Host of One Nation and co-host of Fox and Friends, Brian Kilmeade. It's the first time on the set, which I'm sure she'll regret. Fox business correspondent Madison Allworth. Women give him their room keys so he can clean their bathrooms. It's comedian Joe Mackey. And she used to be a VJ, and I don't mean an Indian fella. Host of the Kennedy Saves the World podcast, Kennedy. Brian?
Yes.
You actually host a show called Fox and Friends.
Right. That's why I thought I was perfect for today's talking point.
Yes. It's kind of interesting and ironic that you are on Fox, but you never have friends on.
Right. It's true.
But do they but you understand what I'm saying? It's like friends are the people that tell you the harsh truths.
Absolutely.
And you can't tell harsh truths in a liberal world because you'll get canceled.
So I was thinking a lot about this. And then when I went to college, around the same age as you, no one really knew politics. I mean,
Yes.
maybe Berkeley's different from Long Island University. You could never get in there.
Mine's a real school.
Yeah, that's right. If you call Berkeley a real school, I'm sure that's not on your resume.
Long Island University?
You couldn't have gotten in.
Is that a
Yeah.
fake school?
Right.
That sounds like a sitcom college. I'm off to Long Island University, Mom. Sorry. Okay, it's real. I apologize. Some online correspondence thing.
It's the Teddy Roosevelt School of Journalism. They have so many great schools. They have a veterinarian school. They got a great soccer team. I can go on.
Do they have sports?
Yeah, that's it. Right. We never talked about it. I still don't know until I meet my college friends now. I know who they vote for.
Yeah.
But in college, we never talked about it. It was like
Right.
a minor thing. But today, it really defines who you are. I have 3 kids college age. They all know who they voted for and where they stand. So things are really different. So I thought, I'm going to be above it all. I saw the theme of your monologue, and I thought to myself, I'm going to be somebody who doesn't judge somebody by who they vote for. Then I thought about it. I'm hanging out, and I meet somebody, and they say, hey, yeah, great to see you. You want to go for a movie later? First, just let me make a little note. Ilhan Omar, a genius who really loves America. Sorry, I'm busy. How about Adam Schiff? I find him trustworthy, somebody I can really rely on, and who always tells the truth. I'm not going to the movie. So you really can't get past it. And I challenge you. If you were hanging out with somebody and they let them know that Adam Schiff and Ilhan Omar was your guiding light, you would not continue that relationship. I challenge you.
Yes. Thank God I'm a hermit. I don't really
Right.
go out and do anything.
Right. No one really asks.
Yeah, that
Let's
is
be honest.
true.
Yeah, you check your cell phone constantly.
I have
Nothing.
a rare body odor issue.
Right.
That can't be cured. Madison, first time on the show. How excited are you?
So excited. Thank you.
You are on kind of the news side,
Yeah.
so you have to be, do you find that you have to be careful? Like you're always in danger of somebody calling you and going, Madison, you're not supposed to say that.
No, I mean, the good thing is it's my job to not have an opinion, which we'll see if I get to keep my job after the show. But so I get to just really play the middle and talk to people. And if I do say something, the call is not, you shouldn't say that. It's, why the heck did you say that?
Right.
But to the point when I was, again, researching, just like Brian, working very hard ahead of the show, I actually disagree. I think Joy does have friends that are Trump voters because there's a majority of them in the U.S.
Mm-hmm.
She just doesn't know it because they would never tell her. And this is part of the problem. If you can't have the conversations, and then obviously, is that a real friend if they can't tell the truth? But yeah, if you go on national television and say, I can't be friends with a Trump voter, like you're either not going to text her back or you just keep your mouth shut.
That is one of it's preference falsification, where people do not tell you what they, that's why people thought Trump would lose, because a lot of people wouldn't say they were voting for him. So look who's here in this little chair. Yeah. Yeah. It's Mark Cuban's retarded brother.
Oh, I'm sorry, Greg. I didn't dress like Vladimir Zelensky for a TV show.
I love you, Joe.
I would hang out with you if you would just give me your phone number.
What did you say?
I would hang out with you if you would give me your phone number.
Well, you know, it's not listed. Do people still say that?
No,
It's not
only on
listed?
your show.
What did you make of the idea? Do you have you lost friends, Joe?
Yes, I have lost friends over politics, but I think it's a good thing. Because what kind of friend doesn't think I can have my own views, you know?
Yeah.
That's the best reason to lose a friend, Greg. The worst reason to lose a friend? Alligators. Every time I've lost a friend to an alligator, it's always the same old thing. They're like, help, Joe, I'm being eaten by an alligator. And I'm like, I don't think we should be friends anymore. But I'll say this, it seemed to me like Joy was trying to really have it both ways. It's like saying, hey, I will be friends with you. I will be your friend, but I would also let you die.
That is the true definition of having it both ways.
It's like that or like capri pants.
Yes. I never wore capri pants.
I have dozens of pairs.
Each one from a different victim. You know serial killers all collect one thing. Capri pants, Kennedy.
That's because they're called shorts, but when you put them on, they go down to your ankles.
All right, let's go to break. Kennedy, can you imagine? I could not imagine you navigating these circles,
God.
where you have. Well, you probably have.
No, I have, because I grew up in Oregon. You know, it's like you grew up in Northern California. It was all hippies in Oregon. My parents were Democrats. And I became a Republican in high school because that was the only way to rebel. And I think that's what a lot of kids, it's true.
No gangs?
I realized, yeah, in Lake Oswego, Oregon. Yeah.
Not good ones.
We had 3 African-American Lake Ridge Pacers.
Yeah.
And they were all the children of trailblazers.
I did not know
So,
that.
yeah.
I apologize.
So very, very diverse, tough school. It's a miracle that I made it out alive. No, it was very affluent and quite lovely, but thank you for asking. No, but I've always run in these circles, and I auditioned for The View in 2003 and went pretty far through the process and got along great because Starr was there. Barbara Walters is still alive. God rest her soul. She was lovely. Meredith Vieira was still there. We talked about conservative politics. Joy was a talking hemorrhoid in an auburn wig. She was so ungracious and awful, and she had a comedy writer writing her little lines during the breaks, and I was like, she's not even funny. She's not reacting to anything. She's not thinking in the moment. And then I made some jokes because it's a conversational show before it became an unwatchable abortion. Because usually they're so much fun to watch.
Yes, they really are.
And she said to me during the break, I'll handle the comedy here.
No
And
way.
I said, great, whenever you start, I'll ease up on the joke.
You can't judge a book by its cover, and that is one ugly cover.
It's a leathery cover, Greg.
It's a leathery, beat-up cover. All right. That was a great little story.
I loved it.
Oh, we all learned something about Kennedy tonight. Okay, before we go, I've got more awesome live shows coming up with special guest Tom Shiloh. This weekend, Indiana and Pennsylvania. Go to ggutfeld.com for tickets. And up next, Wacko's Target Tesla.